Sampling techniques. When determining sample size, ginagamit natin yung Sloven's formula. Yung Sloven's formula, yan yung n is equals to big letter n over 1 plus n times e raised to 2. Where n, small n, is the sample size, big letter n is the population size, and e is the margin of error. Kasi sometimes, kapag kumuha tayo ng sample size, meron talagang error. Hindi natin siya 100% na alam natin na that is the true value of the sample. So, E is the margin of error, or also known as the confidence interval. Yun yung 95% confidence interval, ganyan. So, the margin of error is a value which quantifies possible sampling errors. Sampling error means that the results in the sample differs from those the target population because of the lack of draw. Okay? The role of the margin of error is to summarize the strength of the information in the survey. Margin of error, for example, we have, or supposedly, in a sample of 100 people who intend to vote, 55 or 55% said they will vote yes, while 45 or 45% said no, with a 10% confidence interval. Therefore, a confidence interval for the percentage is 55% minus E to 55% plus E. Kasi nga, yun yung ating confidence interval. So, pwede siyang positive, malapit dun sa binigay na percent, or mas mababa dun. So that is 55 minus 10, that is 45, or 55 plus 10 is 65. Therefore, it's simply 45% to 65%. So yun yung ating margin of error. Sample size example, find n, or yung sample. Find the sample if the population is equals to 10,000 and margin of error of 5%. So yung n natin is equals to big letter n over 1 plus big letter n times e raised to 2. So substitute mo lang yung ating mga given. We have 10,000 as the population. Lagay mo yan sa upper or sa ating enumerator over 1 plus 10,000 times 0.05. Yung 0.05 is the decimal value of 5%. And that is raised to 2. By calculator, that is 385 sample. How about this one? Papalitan mo lang yung 1% with 0.01, and that is a sample with 5,000. Sampling techniques is the process of selecting samples from a given populations. We have different types of sampling techniques. First is non-probability sampling, kagaya nung kanina, di ba? Yung non-probability sampling, under that is the convenience. Ikaw pipili, di ba, pag sinabi natin convenience, yung hindi ganun kahirap. Diba? Next is quota. Kasi baka may minimap ka na quota na dapat yung ma-survey mo is 50 or 100 or thousands, diba? Pero hindi ka naman talaga nag-solve ng sampling, diba? And the last is purposive. Depende kung ano ang purpose mo na magustong i-attain. While the probability sampling includes simple, systematic, stratified sampling, and cluster. So yan yung i-discuss pa natin later on. When you say probability sampling, some samples are chosen in such a way that each member of the population has a known, though not necessarily equal, chance of being included in the sample. So, halimbawa, sa probability sampling, first is the simple random. So, kaya nga sinabing random kasi hindi siya equally, or I mean, hindi siya sunod-sunod, diba? Randomize kung ano yung makuha. Okay? That is equal probability of chance. Parang sa loto, di ba? Simple random yung ginagamit. Or lottery. Generation of random numbers or digits. Next is systematic sampling. In this one, it randomly chosen following certain rules set by the researchers. Example, choose a sample size 10 from n, which is 500. So, ay, medyo nagulo yung PowerPoint. Pero di ba yung n is the population over yung maliit na n or yung sample? So, i-divide mo lang yun, 500 over n na 10, that is equals to 50. Ibig sabihin, kung mag-uumpisa ka ng 15 plus 50, that is 65, plus 50 na interval ulit, 115, plus 50 na interval ulit, 165, plus another 50, 215, plus another 50, 265, plus another 15, 315, plus another 50, 365, plus another 50, 415, and the last is 465. Ganun siya. Pero hindi idea lang yan. Pwede ka naman mag-umpisa ng 1, sunod 51, ganyan. Basta yung, ikaw kasi yung magsiset ng rules, yung researcher. Diba? Meron siyang interval. Next is stratified sampling. So ito madalas niyo siguro naririnig to. So it used when the population is too big to handle. Kasi di ba pag simple random, okay lang naman kasi simple random yung kukunin mo dun eh. Para paano kung napakalaki ng population, say 500,000, di ba? So kailangan mong mag-subgroup. Halimbawa, meron kang tatawaging strata ABC or group ABC and you have to divide number of families na nandun. Halimbawa, 1,000, 2,500, 1,500, and then the total nun is 5,000. Yun yung pinaka-total population, di ba? Kaya lang dahil nag-group tayo or gumawa tayo ng subgroup, nag-strata tayo or stratified, nahati-hati siya. Kukunin mo lang yung percent niya. Say for instance, 1,000 over 5,000 is equals to 20. 2,500 over 5,000 is equals to 50 or 50%. Ang 1,500 over 5,000, 1,500 over 5,000 is 0.30 or 30%. And then, kukunin mo ulit yung sample size using Sloven's formula. And then, i-times mo yun dun sa percent na nakuha mo by group. So, halimbawa, yung nakuha mo na sample is 370, times mo lang yun dun sa percent by group. So, that is, liliit yun kasi portion na lang yun eh. Diba? So at least, yung sample mo is manggagaling pa rin dun sa magkaiba-ibang group. Kalat pa rin siya. Hindi siya sa isang group lang. Kasi yung statistics kasi, nagiging valid siya kung maganda or valid yung pinagkuhanan mo ng sample. Diba? So halimbawa, nag-survey ka, tapos tinamad ka na pumunta dun sa dulo, inubos mo na lang sa zone 1, hindi siya talaga true value kasi hindi mo naman nakita kung ano yung gusto nilang sabihin yung last or nung iba pa. Last is the cluster sampling or sometimes called area sampling because it is usually applied when the population is large. So, ito yung steps. Draw the members of the sample by group or cluster and then you select a sample from each group or cluster individually. Para lang siyang stratified din. So assume that there are 300 barangays in Quezon City. You can draw a random sample of 30 barangays using random sampling method and then get a certain number of families from each of the 30 barangays. So ganun lang kadali. No? Ka-cluster mo lang sila lahat. Doon naman sa non-probability sampling, we have convenience sampling. So this type is used because of the convenience it offers to the researchers. Kasi sometimes kulang sa time or kulang sa resources, kulang sa budget. So pwede na yung convenience sampling, wala tayong magagawa. Yun yung pinaka-convenient or pinaka-madali sa researcher. Next is quota sampling. Kaya nga tinawag na quota, kailangan mo ma-achieve yung certain number na yun. So this is very similar to the stratified random sampling. The only difference is that the selection of the numbers of the samples is stratified, is done randomly. So dito sa quota, hindi. Okay, sa purposive sampling, choosing the respondents on the basis of predetermined criteria set by the researchers. Depende ko anong purpose. Next is data gathering techniques. We have by indirect and direct interview. So sa direct interview, the researcher has direct contact with the research or the respondent. While the indirect, the researcher gives or distributes the questionnaire to the respondents either by personal delivery or by email. Registration methods are methods of gathering data governed by laws. Halimbawa, kukuha ka ng data dun sa LTO office, sa COMELEC, sa PSA. So, ano yun? Under by law. So, that is registration method. And the other is experimental method. This method of gathering data is used to find out cause and effect relationship. Kailangan mong mag-try para makita mo, kailangan mo mag-experiment, di ba? So halimbawa, gusto mong makita sa research mo kung ano yung mangyayari kapag yung asin or yung betchin nilagay mo dun sa inumin, di ba? So, yun. Itatry mo yun. I-experiment mo yun. So, the questionnaire, ito is isang weapon sa statistics yung questionnaire. It should contain a short letter to the respondents which includes purpose of the study and assurance of confidentiality kasi di naman pwede na kung ano yung sagot nila makikita ng iba, di ba? And the name of writer of the questionnaire. There is a descriptive title or name of the questionnaire. It is designed to achieve objectives. The directions are clear. Para madaling sagutan. Designed for easy tabulation. It avoids the use of double negative. Halimbawa, don't you think it is not? Diba? Nag-don't na, tapos nag-not pa. Then it also avoid double barreled question or barreled question. Online enlistment is practical and beneficial. Practical na, beneficial pa. So, ano talaga? Okay? So, it phrases questions well for all respondents. We have different types of questionnaires. First is open. Yung open is a type that has unlimited responses. Kaya lang pag open kasi yung tendency, hindi mo matapos-tapos kasi hanggang yung respondent, hindi siya napapagod magsagot, di ba? Open kasi, kahit anong pwede niya sabihin. While yung close naman, this type limits the scope of responses. Di ba? Parang yung sa mga interview sa TV, ganyan. Close questionnaire yun, tawag doon. Then last is combination. This type is a combination of open and closed types of questionnaires. Sa types naman of question, kanina questionnaire, ngayon questions naman. We have multiple choice. Ayan, alam naman natin kung ano ibig sabihin ng multiple choice. Ranking. So, ask responding to rank the given items. Halimbawa, meron kang research about foods. Tapos yung nakalagay na rank is kung nagustuhan niya, hindi masyado, hindi talaga, or never, mga ganyan. So, di ba nakarank yun? And it also signifies scales. Ask respondent to give his/her degree of agreement to a statement or yung tinatawag natin na Likert scale. And the other one is open-ended essay type. Diba? Pag essay type, wordy na naman, tapos hindi, mahirap kasi i-analyze yung essay, diba? Kasi hindi siya numerical. Research design, we have descriptive, comparative, and descriptive correlation. Sa comparative, this method includes comparing two or more known groups which differ in some characteristics or attributes to determine possible differences in views regarding a particular issue or topic or of interest. While sa correlation, it seeks to investigate whether a relationship, di ba, yung kanina, nag-ano ka lang ng difference, di ba? Nagde-determine ka lang ng possible difference kasi nagko-compare ka nga. Dito naman sa correlation, nag-i-investigate ka ng relationship exists between two or more variables. It enables you to make more intelligent prediction. So last slide is another activity number 2, instruction. To be attached in Google Classroom, submitted files, activity 2. So ito na lang, meron naman pala dun sa Google Classroom natin. So ganito, pag sasagot kayo, pwedeng sa notebook or papel or sa bond paper and then picturean nyo yun and then i-attach nyo privately dun sa activity 2 attachment under submitted files dun sa ating Google Classroom. First, write one paragraph, rationale, for choosing the topic. Why did you choose the topic? It is important in your program. Who will benefit from it? Identify the target population. Siyempre, mayroon tayong ikaw kasi magbibigay kung saan. Compute the number of samples using Sloven's formula. Okay? And then identify the sampling and data gathering techniques to be used. Nandiyan naman sa slides natin kung anong klaseng sample or data gathering techniques yung gagamitin mo. And number 5 is identify the research design, pwedeng comparative or correlation.